Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in the US. I'm Nancy Hetker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And I am happy to see people here. Good evening, Nikki. Hello, Wendy. I know you popped in. Perhaps you popped out again. I am going to get started here. Let's see, I've got 2 cards to make with you today, but first I'm going to take care of a little bit of housekeeping. If you are in Australia and you would like to get the new annual catalog that goes live in early June, drop me a message on here or send me a private message or email me and let me know, and I will get you a catalog. I know June seems like a long way away, especially when we're all in our homes every day, but it'll come along sooner than you know, and the mail is taking a little bit of time to get to you, so let me know and I'll get your catalog. Coming up in May, I have some events going on online that wherever in the world you are, you could join in on, at least some of them. One of them is going to be, let me move this out of the way, Mother's Day gifts. And this is, if you're in the States and you want to make these, let me know and I will link you up with the tutorials because they are available in inches really easily. But this is going to be the class that I am offering here in Australia, and you can do it either mail order or picking up a kit from my place in the CBD in Melbourne. But first off is this covered notepad, and I will send you the notepad and all the materials to make the cover for it, and you'll have choices in colors and which designer series paper you want and everything. And likewise on this project, these are little boxes that hold these really, really good Ghirardelli chocolate squares, which are not available in Australia. I carried them back from the US in February, but these are really cute little boxes that hold 3 of those, and you'll have some choices in those patterns. And all of these projects are designed that you can mix and match and send to, you may have a mother, a stepmother, or mother-in-law, a sister that you want to honor, I don't know. And then there'll be 2 cards, and these are the 2 cards that I've designed to go for this class. And you'll do your own sentiments wherever there are sentiments called for. So if you are interested in doing this class, take a look on my blog. There's a link to sign up. So this is going to be one fun class, and this is first Saturday in May. What is that, the 2nd? But all the details are on my blog, nancysniftynotes.com. Let me get those out of the way. And then on the 9th, that's the Saturday after that, I'm doing my regular monthly card class, and that will be by Kit. And again, details for signing up for that are on my blog, but I'm happy to send you a kit if you live in Australia. If you're in the States, I'm not sure if I'm going to offer a PDF. It kind of depends on what the projects are. I haven't totally figured out the projects yet, so I'll keep you posted on that. But then on the 16th of May, I'm offering a free Zoom crafting session, and we're going to be making a set of these double wonder cards. And Shannon West, who's a big name over at Stampin' Up!, she did this she oversees a section of the US in the Midwest with demonstrators, and she did a group meeting with them online, and they all made these what you call a double wonder card. It's kind of like a one sheet wonder, but you use 2 half sheets of designer series paper, so that's why she called it double. And I've gone through and I've made metric measurements so that we can do it efficiently here in A4 land. So I have links again on my blog to places where you can go and download the templates for free, either in inches or in centimeters. And each double sheet of, or each half sheet of, the 2 half sheets of designer series paper make 11 cards. And there's a picture again on my blog, but really what you're doing is you're slicing and dicing, and then you're mixing and matching to make different cards. And it's very fun, it's very easy, it's a great thing to do while you're chatting with people on Zoom. So there's one set that I made, and that's with the Sia Silhouette designer series paper. Here's another one with the birthday bonanza. If you are in Australia and you would like to get a kit, either with it totally cut or with just the pieces so that you can cut and score and play along, let me know. I'm happy to send you one of those. But this is a great thing to go into your stash and pull out stuff and start using up some of the paper you've got, and the cardstock, and they're just really quick and easy and fun. So I hope you join in on that. There's absolutely no cost to that. When you download the template, you'll get the information for the Zoom meeting as well, and a total list of supplies that you need. So hopefully you'll join in with that, and look on my blog again. There's all kinds of details for that. Okay, let's make some cards. So couple things. I woke up the other morning with this card in my head, which is something that happens after I've been doing a bunch of crafting and get the mojo going. But I was pretty excited to wake up with an idea in my head, because those are the fun ones to make. So this is Abstract Impressions, and it's bundled with, or available with, Springtime Impressions dies. And I've used the butterfly die several times before. I'm not sure I've used any of the other dies, and I'm pretty darn certain except for maybe a sentiment, I know I haven't used the stamps, which is sad. So I was glad I woke up with this in my mind, because I wanted to get it done. I've called this video Appliqué Backgrounds because that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to take this big die, and I've taken, this is Purple Posy cardstock, and I've put some double-sided adhesive sheets on the back, and I'm going to let you in on a not very secret. Stampin' Up! Will be coming out with a new die cut and embossing machine early in the new catalog year. It will be in the catalog, and they are reintroducing double-sided adhesive sheets. I cannot tell you how happy I am about that, because they make things like this and the next card so much easier. So I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, because that's what we have still, until we get the new one from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to cut out 2 of these big die cuts. And just because I have the extra adhesive on the back, I'm going to go twice with this one. There we go. Take out a couple of those pieces. And now I'm going to turn it the other way. I'm going to cut out a second one. Hi, Sonia, and hi, Megan. Glad you could join me today. I'm doing what I'm calling Appliqué Backgrounds, because I I dabbled in the tiniest amount of quilting before I found paper crafting, and this reminds me of appliquing on quilt blocks. Okay, so there's the die. I'm just going to get a couple pieces out of here. If you do not have the Take a Pick tool with the die brush attachment, now I still have my old one that we used to sell, so I don't have the die brush attachment yet, but if you don't have a die brush in some way, shape, or form, you need to get one, because okay, it makes, what, did we not cut all the way through there? We didn't cut all the way through there. That'll be interesting. It's okay. There's just a couple different ways to do this, and we'll do it the other way. So I think I've got it so that my rubbish bin does not fall on the floor and dump everything this time like it did last week. So I've got, this is just a card base of the Purple Posy, and I'm just going to do tone on this one. So since it didn't cut through the backing, pull this off the backing. Come here. And we'll work on getting all the little bits and bobs out. Oh my goodness. So one of the easiest ways is to just let them stick to your fingers. It's kind of easy. Then they're stuck on you. Really, this is quicker and easier than gluing them, I promise. The next one we may try footing back through with the die again, see if we can get cut through the, oh my. Oh, the joys of going live and having things not work exactly as you envisioned them. Keeping it real, folks, keeping it real. Anybody have any questions about anything while I'm messing with this? The other thing I like to have over here is my paper piercer, or the pokey tool as we call it. Oh my goodness. Now I know I'm going to have it all stuck on my phone, but that's okay. Really? If you guys been doing a lot of crafting at home, I feel like I'm either crafting, cruising Facebook, or cooking. But today I have to do some house cleaning. We've had our nice weather, so we've had our balcony doors open, and we've got construction going on across the street. And I've noticed it's very, very dusty. Come on. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stick that on, I think. That was not a good sell, was it? Yes, this foam mat, a couple years ago when Stampin' Up! Was still selling the Sizzix products, this was sold together. This is the die brush by Sizzix, and it came with this piece of foam to brush on. And it kind of falls apart. Well, it's starting to sort of crumble a little bit. Just gonna leave that. Put that on there. And I'm gonna run the other one through the Big Shot. Again, and see if I can get it to cut a little more completely so it's not so difficult to work with. So I'm just setting this back on top of where I cut before, which is actually pretty easy to do. Just running it through a couple more times. Yeah, it still didn't quite cut through the backing. I'm gonna get a shim for it. Sometimes some dies, it's the combination of my machine, which is getting quite aged now. They can just need a little extra pressure on them. So I've got, this was a piece of backer from Designer Series paper. And that was just enough little extra pressure, I hope, to have maybe cut through most of the way there. See, one thing I can tell is that comes out of that more easily, so that's a good thing. Let's see how we do with the brush. Yeah, see, that's how it's supposed to work. When you've cut through it all, you can just brush out these inner pieces, and it's much easier. It's much better. And then here, see, this is the one part that wasn't cutting through all the way there. And that probably has to do with the age of my machine, but let's see if we can get those poked out really fast. And you can see here, this is the part of the flower, again, that it didn't poke out all the way. I can, well, we'll see if I get them out. In the end, it probably won't show up that much. Your eye will kind of gloss over it. Okay, so now I can pull the backing sheet off the whole rest of it. That was much faster and easier, right? You get it to work right. More backing sheet. Okay, get that out of the way. Now, it doesn't bother me that it's overlapping a bit in the middle. Because I'm going to put a panel there. So that is and then I'm just going to burnish it a little bit from the other side to make sure that adhesive sticks, especially because it's touching it and lifting it up. So there we go. Okay, and now I've pre-cut. This is the largest of the Stitch So Sweetly rectangle dies. And so you may remember that the Purple Posy pad, they just couldn't ever get it to be color stable. They tried a couple times and they finally just recalled it altogether. But again, one of the things that I really like about Stampin' Up! Is the color coordination. So they'd actually designed Purple Posy, Highland Heather, Gorgeous Great to just be progressively darker shades, but really the same tone is how I call it. I don't have an art background, so I may have tone and shade mixed up. If I do, you can tell me that. Oh, smoky haze over Brisbane? I didn't realize you had fires up there again. I'm so sorry, Megan. So I'm going to do some stamping with some stamps out of the Abstract Impressions. And because it's photopolymer and some of them are actually pretty solid, I'm going to use my foam mat. And this is the Stampin' Pierce mat. And I've just taken an old piece of grid paper and with some sticky tape put it on there. I can swap it out anytime I want, but that way if I'm stamping off the edge, I don't have to worry about getting ink on my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I have two of these. I have one that I use just for stamping, and I have one that I use back burning. One that I use when I'm actually piercing, which I haven't done in a while because that seems to not be a thing right now. With all of our stitch dies, I guess we don't need to do it as much. And so this is Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to put the thank you sentiment from this set down here, center it up in the bottom. And then, so what I found was that even though we don't have the Purple Posy ink pad anymore, because these were all designed to coordinate together, if I ink up in Highland Heather and stamp off once, I get something that is remarkably close to the Purple Posy. So I'm going to do that several times on here. Stamp off. Okay, and then So this was the widest, the boldest of the images, and now I'm going to take the second boldest, and I think I've discovered, you know, it's abstract, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I think I figured out how they at least kind of line up. So now I'm going to use Highland Heather full strength. If I can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Not sure how much it matters exactly where you get it lined up, but this one I turned a bit. And I'm going to go ahead, there's a third layer. I'm going to do that in the Gorgeous Grape, just like the thank you. Oh, that one was really off. Let's see how we do. How do I tell what's what? I don't think it really matters. There we go. So that's the stamping I was going to do. Clean off my stamps here. Oh, I was going to do another one on the inside here. I'm not always very good about getting stuff on the inside of my cards, but let's try to remember to do that today. Here we go. And this is just a chamois with water. We'll close up the inks so we don't make a mess. Okay. And we'll bring this card front in. And I'm just going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Hey Gladys, glad you could join us. So I'm doing, as I said, Appliqué Backgrounds. I'm using die cuts on my background layer to give interest and texture. I'm just going to play decide about these here. What do you think? Too much? That's kind of fun. We'll do that. There. Okay, so that's one card. Oh, and then put the inside in. That would be good. I realized I hadn't done much with my purple posy either, since first I was waiting for the ink, and then I didn't have the ink, but I think that stamping off that Highland Heather, that works perfectly. So, one, done. And then, so my next card, Sarah Douglas, who is the CEO of Stampin' Up!, has started during our era of quarantine sending out, what does she call it? Oh, hashtag Share Sunshine. And she has on her Facebook page, which is Sarah Douglas Stampin' Up! CEO, if you want to look for it, a card that I'm going to case today. And so I'm going to be flipping back and forth between where I can see what you guys are seeing and your comments and the picture of her card. So her card is using the Timeless Tropical and In the Tropics bundle. And I'd gotten started doing what I was doing when I realized that, in fact, her background applique was done with these flowers, which makes sense because it's from this bundle. But I'd already started playing with these from the bouquet bunch, which I'm okay with because they are actually attached. These cut out individually and these are attached. So they're going to be faster and easier to work with for what we're doing today, which is a good thing for you guys if you're intent on watching to the end. So let me move this out of the way because I have pre-cut things. And I pre-cut a bunch of these with that this morning. I've got a layer here, so I'm going to start putting these on, and hopefully these have cut pretty completely. We don't have issues like on the last one. And I'm going to just start applying them around the edges and working my way in. Again, there's going to be a panel over the middle, so at some point I might decide, well, that's going to cover enough and I don't need to keep going. So we'll see what happens. I've got there were two different little connected flower things. I'm going to hold off on that. Maybe I don't need to use one that doesn't match the rest. Really, I'm just pulling the backing off here, one side or another. Come here. Yeah, these that are connected, it's way easier than placing each individual flower. I can see we're going to still need to do a little bit of this, but not so much. Okay, we may come back and fill in with some pieces. So Roseanne said she was making lots of cards. I see Jenny's there. Hey, Jenny. I see you've been spending time with your grandkids. That's cool. So I'm doing Appliqué Backgrounds. I've die cut out all these flowers. And I'm just applying them, appliquing them to this background panel for this card. I'm casing one done by Sarah Douglas on her official CEO, Stampin' Up! CEO Facebook page with the hashtag Share Sunshine. I thought it was really cool and cheerful, and I decided I wanted to make one too. So I'm going as fast as I can here to get this all around here. Just getting all the bits and bobs with my die brush. And what I'm going to do is I'll go back and I'll trim up that edge, so it's okay by me if they're off the edge just a bit. And you don't have to be super gentle with this brush. It can be a quick pop stuff out of the way type of thing. Hi Lisa, nice to see you. This is probably the fiddliest thing I've done on Facebook Lives. I envisioned it being pretty quick and easy to do, and hopefully get it going here. But it's great fun to make these cards. If you like to do crafting and you haven't done a whole lot of card making, again, for people who've joined in since I started, I'm going to point you towards my event on, it's May 16, Saturday, May 16 here in Australia, but it'll be Friday evening in the US. I'm going to do a Zoom crafting session. I've got all the directions and a supply list connected to my blog. You can pop over there and download everything and be all ready. My intent isn't that you have everything cut ahead of time. If you want, you can if you want to. If you're nervous about cutting and think that maybe you're pressured, I can try to zoom in, Nikki. You can cut in advance and just assemble on the day, but there's no particular rush, so let me see here. Let me see how that does when the feed catches up with what I'm doing. So I'm just get this one on. Just gotta get these last couple on, and if it's not, there we go. Is that better? Good. Yeah, I feel like every time I set up my Facebook Live, Facebook's done something to change how it looks. So, okay, 3 more. I don't think I'm going to get all the way around, but I'm going to move on to the stamping part, and I'll finish assembling it all off camera. In fact, why don't I just do that now so that you don't have to keep living through all this crazy. So, yeah, because that's going to go on there. So see, I don't have to even fill in all of that inner part, which is great. So I'm going to set that aside for right now, and we will get to some stamping. In fact, I'm going to start on this piece with some Memento Tuxedo Black, because I'm actually going to do some coloring as well. And this is my first time inking this one up too. So we'll try that there. And that one there. So I woke up with the purple posy one in my head. This one I decided to recreate about 9:30 this morning, about 30 minutes before coming on with you guys. So yeah. I need to grab a couple of blends. Right color of blends. I may have used watercolors, but I'm not doing that, so. Okay. So this one is Pretty Peacock. And a Daffodil Delight. I think they did watercolor, but I don't have time for that today. So this is Petal Pink. And to get more of a watercolory look, I'm not coloring in solidly. I'm just sort of swiping it around, leaving a little bit of white showing. See what you guys can see here. And then this is Rich Razzleberry Light. It is fun to see how they all come together and layer up like that. And I'll probably, let's see what I wind up doing. Can you hear me when I mutter to myself? I'm sort of wondering what I'm going to do here to blend it in a little bit more. And I may pull out the color lifter. I may go over it again with the try some color lifter. That softens it up a little bit. Yeah, it is. It sort of disperses it a little bit, and you need to give it a minute to work. So I'm just gonna go over it real fast, and I can come back over it and do a little more. And I think we'll come back in with some Petal Pink Light and kind of blend that in a little bit more. Yeah, it's not as soft as hers is, because I think they actually did do much more of a watercolor thing and it blended much better. But if I were to do another one of these, we might get it a little more blendy. This one, again, the rich raspberry. This one's the rich raspberry light. And again, she got it much more watercolory than I will with these. Try a good bit of this and see how we go. Now, one thing to know about this color lifter is that it puts a bunch of liquid in and it can make things bleed. So be careful about it really close to the edge of things. I don't mind if it's kind of bleeding within the petals, because again, I'm trying to get a more watercolory look, but I don't really want it to bleed outside the edge of the petal. So I'm not putting much there. She had just a little tinge of peacock in some places. So yeah, putting it on top of the lifter helps it to bleed a little bit too, which is a good thing. Okay, I'm actually happier with that one. What happens if we do this a little more? Oh, I'm liking that a lot better. So what this liquid does is it actually takes the pigment of the ink and it pushes it through to the back of the page more. So it's a color lifter, but I kind of think of it as a color pusher. It pushes it deeper and spreads it out more. That's much softer looking. I'm happier with that. Okay, I'm just gonna come over here to my cut machine and cut them out with the matching dies. I'll be right back with you. As I figure out how the die lines up. Here we go. One. Yeah, so the Memento, you're exactly right, Roseanne. The Memento is because it's water-based, it's likely to run and bleed if you use, you can color over it with the other markers or an aqua painter, but you have to use, or a blender pen. Aqua painter is really risky. But the blender pen, you can do it. You just can't do it very much or it's really likely to run. Okay, and then now this panel gets some stamping as well. With this leaf. So if you have, like, we sell the Stays On jet black, and that is intended for using with watercoloring, water inks of whatever variety. Okay, so there are those two. Hi, Barbara. So now this one's gonna go there. This one I'm gonna ink up a little bit. There we go. And then one more there. And I need to grab two things and be right back. Really? Here we go. Okay. So she's got spatters. I don't often do spatters, but let's see what we get. So this is one way to do spatters, and I'm going to see how I go. I'm getting very light spatters because my aqua painter is too wet. Oh, they're just going to be what they be. Like I said, I don't often do spatters. There we go. I often stamp. I like spatter stamps. They're more controlled. But there we go. Oh, you didn't get to see very much of that. Sorry. There you go. Can't see the stamping. Let me see if I can get it to zoom out. It sometimes, once I've zoomed in, a lot of times it doesn't want to go back in. So, hi Karen. I'm casing Sarah Douglas's hashtag Share Sunshine card over on her CEO Facebook page. So, you know, it's not exactly like hers because it's mine, but we'll see how it comes out. And now I'm using a different sentiment because, as you know, I like to do birthday ones. So, okay, I'm going to stamp it one more time and see if I can get it a little bit straighter on the page to make cutting easier. That's better. And this is out of the same set, Says, may your birthday be memorable. I'm sorry, I will try to work higher on the page. Yes, spatter stamps are great. I'm gonna bring in this to try to trim this down. If you didn't get this little guillotine paper trimmer when it was available as a sign-up bonus, I'm so sorry, because it is awesome. For things like that. This could be a never-ending game, couldn't it? There we go. I'm done. Okay, I think we're ready to assemble it. Let me look at hers one more time. Yep, she's got a fringe. The baby trimmer is not supposed to be in the new catalog. I don't know. It's supposed to be kind of an exclusive for folks who signed up during Celebration, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow morning, our time. Okay, so there are some other die cuts that go with this that I did in advance. So there are some 4 leaves, and we've got these guys. So I'm gonna jump over. Hello, Melissa. So this one goes on first. I think we're going to be using a lot of dimensionals with some of these. So and then mine is going to look a little bit different to Sarah's also because I'm working in A4 paper, and it is the proportions are a little bit different. The letter size winds up longer and or taller and squatter, but that's okay. So where they overlap, I'm just going to put a couple dots of glue and a dimensional. Down there. And then my glue dots. See that I missed one. That's okay, I would get it. Still trying to be sure you guys can see. I love glue dots. When I discovered glue dots and tape runners when I started paper crafting, oh my goodness, my kids' school projects became so much easier. And then this one. Oh, I should get that on there somewhere too. So, like I said, I'm not using, she has that fringy stuff under there. That's just not quite to my taste. So I'm not doing it. And I'm okay with stuff hanging off because it is going to go you might remember it's going to go onto this background once I cut out some more of the applique stuff. And then that is going to go onto Razzleberry card base. So, yeah, I may not even trim that off. I may let that hang off the edge there. I'm going to pop that up. So there will be a picture of the finished card on the blog, but you get an idea of what I'm doing. Get all this out of here. Oh, and there'll probably be some of these champagne rhinestones. A couple of those on there too. That's what she has, I believe. So, yep, take a look at my blog for the finished product on that. Got a little cleaner site for you there. There's that card. And that card. Let me see what you can see. Yeah. I have to wait. It takes about 15-20 seconds, which is an eternity sometimes. Oh, I see. To see what you guys can see, and if I look at my phone, it's all distorted today, so I have absolutely no idea what you can see. So I'm just waiting here for you guys to see what okay. Yeah, so when you watch on the replay, you might get a clearer picture. Yeah, really, really wish I could. There we go. Some at least back out. Anyhow, I hope you can see. I will definitely have pictures on my blog, probably Monday next week. And I will be back again next week. I've got a couple of ideas of things to do next week and the week after, so hopefully you'll come back and tune in again. Very exciting. If you're a demonstrator, you get to see the PDF of the new annual catalog within the next 24 hours. If you are not a demonstrator and you're in Australia and you would like to get a catalog and you're not working with another demonstrator, give me a shout and I will get one mailed to you. But tomorrow everyone will get to know what is retiring from the annual catalog. I know the 2018-2020 in colors are retiring, so if there's any of that collection that you need to fill in your stash, please head on over in Australia to my store. If you're ordering under $250, if you use the April host code, I will send you a gift. And yeah, have a great week. I will talk to you another time. Bye-bye.